Psalms 58 and verse 3, it says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, starting with 144,000, which would be the ruling governing body in the kingdom of heaven, right? Which should be all men, the 144,000. You also have a lot of the 1/3, the large multitude of believers, which will be men, women, and children that will be saved. 2/3 of our people will be destroyed here in America. You also have the rebels that are scattered abroad that will be destroyed. You have the elect that are scattered abroad that will be saved, of who the world willingly and ignorantly calls black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, Guatemalans, Cubans. Right, we are the Israelites, contrary to what the world wants to believe. I'm your brother YASHAMIAHLA can make with another lesson. I have this video from TikTok. Salakia. As what y'all can see. It says what white people, which they're Edomites, say what black people hear. Right? And, you know, this video is going into this lady saying certain things that they may say to Jake, and they don't really mean it. They just only saying that to, you know, separate themselves out of the equation from, you know, being the person who's actually doing whatever it is that they was talking about in the first place. Right? That's how these Edomites get down, man. They lie, man. They may act all peaceful in your face. Right? They may be nice to you. Well, hey, the scriptures say, matter of fact, let's get it. Sirach 12. Sirach 12 and 10. Brothers and sisters that's been in this thing for a while, they don't know what scripture I'm going to. Sirach 12 and 10, it says, never trust thy enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So iron nor rust as soon as it's there, but over time it does rust. That's how these Edomites are. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go a crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. So though he humbles himself, he may seem nice, he may seem like he don't bother nobody, or a Shedemite, right? Yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. So eventually it's going to be like, oh, you really see them for what they are, you know, because you've been paying attention the whole time. And thou shalt know that that his rust have not been altogether wiped away, right? So that's why we ain't supposed to be making covenants with these Edomites, you know, on a personal level. Yeah, we got to deal with them at the workplace, or, you know, whenever you go out somewhere, that's their world. But don't be trying to be friends with them, Jake. They know they can't be saved either, because that's been a big conversation since the past week. You know, set him not by thee, least when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. You see that? So, you know, don't have this devil be close to you, man. Don't have him know what you got going on. Don't let the left hand know what your right hand is doing. Right? Because the moment he get the opportunity to take you out or to put you down, and I ain't talking about just death. I'm talking about to trick you out of your position, so to speak. Right? You not be the person on top. Hey, he gonna take your position. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So you gotta watch the devil. You gotta be circumspect. You gotta know, you know, who you around. You know, you gotta know what their motives is. Hey, like as Jake said, peep game, right? Pay attention. Know what's going on. See how they moving. See how they moving. Not just with you, but even other Jakes or other people. Right? These Edomites, hey, they'll slime each other out. You know, as Jake say, man, they'll slime each other out, man. You know, I've seen it, man, at work, man. These Edomites be battling each other. How much more are you, Jake? Oh, no, he don't mess with me, nah. You need to watch them niggas, man. You need to watch them. You know, let me play the video.
Let's talk about things white people say and what black people hear. White people say, I don't see color. They usually think they're being kind. We think it's generous because we're raised to believe that white is the norm and you shouldn't talk about anything else. You were taught that color was unmentionable, that talking about it was impolite. So we say we don't see it. But what black people hear
Yeah, they say these certain things to distract from the conversation that y'all was having. If you know, that's why you shouldn't be talking to them any damn way. You know, on the personal level. Now, probably most of us probably have been in situations where either might say something like that. Just let it go, man. You know, hey, don't be talking about shit like that to either might say work either. Just do what you gotta do, and that's it.
Is that we learned something is wrong with color. White people say, "You're so articulate."
I've definitely had one of them say it to me at work. When they find out you ain't no dumb nigga, and I ain't talking about, you know, teaching the truth or nothing that where I'm just saying just anything that you know or that you learn, you know, about the job or whatever. You know, you tell them, they be like, oh, well, you know, I didn't know you do all that. Well, why didn't you? You know, I don't be saying that if somebody said it to me, but I just be like, okay, you know, it is what it is. You know, but that's how they do though. You know, they say these certain things and they try to make it seem like they're not doing no wrong in what they're saying. But the fact that you even said that and thought about me like that, that's an insult, you know. But it shouldn't really be an insult if you know who you are. We know how these Edomites are, but you know they insulted you, but not in a direct way.
One floats out like it's supposed to be a compliment, but it lands as, "I didn't expect intelligence from you."
Yes.
The person saying it feels...
That's definitely how it's perceived or understood if they say that to you, for sure. Because what makes you think that you're the person that I look up to, or the person that can say this to me, you know?
Proud of themselves for noticing talent. The person hearing it recognizes the stereotype.
And she probably Jake, man. She telling the truth, you know? I'm not saying for sure, but she probably is. We got to remember that we don't have all of our people that look like Wesley Snipes or Shaquille O'Neal or Will Smith. A lot of our people that's a party, they're gonna look like her. So-called white people to other nations, they're gonna look like that, you know. Or she could just be guilty because you got a lot of these Edomites on TikTok or on whatever platform, and they're talking about the truth because they're guilty and they're tired of their own people, you know. And I've heard elders say this a lot of these Edomite women, they tired of their own. They tired of their men. They don't like their men. They don't. The older ones and the younger ones, you know, they tired of it. You know that you can't, your woman that with you, you ain't gonna do, you know I ain't gonna say the man needs the woman to lead her. That you don't. But if your woman ain't with you, y'all can't be united as a family at least. You know.
The white person says, "I don't think of you as black." They say it with a smile, like they're handing out prize ribbons. What it really means is, "I accept you because I'm stripping away part of who you are." That's not friendship. That's erasure with a friend.
It's not. It ain't friendship. Right? Because he or she is trying to get away from the obvious. We all know that we're taught were these certain terms and nationalities in America. That's what you was taught to look at me at. So to say that, you're fucking lying. You telling me you don't see me as black? It's not you. It's not even racist. You saying that's just what you was taught, right? But the Lord made them to be wicked, to be the wicked. So they're gonna say certain things like this to get away from it. Why can't you just tell the truth? Because it's not in you to tell the truth, man. Let me go to the book of Habakkuk chapter 2. Right? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4 says, "Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith." And this devil, his soul is not upright. They're the wicked. They do everything abominable. They lie. That's why I brought down the first scripture. That's just how the Lord made them. They can't control it. You know, they can't do anything about it. It's in them.
Tone. And then white people say, "You are one of the good ones."
Man, I'll say this: if you've been a manager at a job or been somewhere at a job to where you you like maybe like in a lead role, and you best be prepared to have an Edomite. Because I've had a position at a job to where like I was a little leader or whatever, and I've definitely had Edomites say certain things similar to this. They may didn't say that exact thing, but they've said, "Oh, you know, You know this, you know that. Wow, they they acting all what's the word? I can't think of the word. Damn, it's a lot of kids slipped my mind. Sarcastic, that's the word. You know, because they don't really mean that. They don't really give a damn. You know, I've even had the Edomites say they try to guess what my last name is. Like, oh, is it, you know, my worldly last name, which, you know, they didn't know it, but, you know, Babylonian last name. They try to say, oh, you're a Jackson, you're a Johnson. Oh no, it's not that. It's Jones. I've literally had this happen to me. You know, and I don't ever get mad, but at the moment in time, you don't expect it. You know, it just happens, and it kind of throws you off because you like, what the hell? But like at the same time, you got to remember, oh, this is a damn Edomite. That's how these people are, man. Weird, man.
This one has been doing harm for generations. Black people here, I'm separating you from your community so that I don't have to look at my own bias toward it.
Yeah, that's because they already look at us as the scum of the earth, the bums, right? Worthless, low down, dirty dogs. That's how these Edomites look at us, man. They don't look at us as the kings of the earth, man. This is Proverbs 29 and 27 says, an unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. And they wicked, they the wicked ones, but they think that we the wicked. Make that make sense. Every nation is not called the wicked particularly. There is one nation particularly called the wicked. Now, these other nations, they do wicked acts, but there's one nation called the wicked. And definitely ain't the Israelites. We're the righteous. Even though Jake going off, yeah. But that's how these Edomites look at us, man. They look at us as worthless, low down, dirty dogs, like I had said. You know, not good for nothing. You know. And you Jakes in the world that want to fucking save them, or you niggas in the truth, so-called, that want to save them, the Lord going to destroy you, man. You know, to say some shit like that. That he's just going to get saved, man. Yeah, because that ain't what this video stemmed from. I just came across that video, and I love when I see videos like that because they're exposing themselves, right? Or exposing their own people. Or it makes them look guilty, too. But it doesn't matter how much they realize, you know, evil they do, or they know what they be doing. These Edomites know the evil they be doing, but they don't give a damn because it's bred in them. The Lord put that spirit in them to do what they do, right? They can't run from it, right?
All of them. It's a kind of approval that takes something from the person it pretends to honor. Most people who say these things are not trying to be hurtful. They might even be on the cusp.
Yeah, they're trying to be hurtful. They don't accept us. That's what it is. And it looks like she got an ephod on. I don't know if y'all brothers see that, you know, that necklace that she got on. Look like an ephod to me, you know. Am I saying that's what she's trying to have on, or what she? That's what it looked like.
Of becoming an ally. And they're repeating things they never really examined. Things they learned when whiteness was presented as the default setting for humanity. So, for white people...
And that term white is not even... It's not even who they are. Everything that has white in front of it, like you say, you know, white rice, or I'm just making an example, you know, a white cat, you know, it's looked at as positive. If you say anything with black in front of it, a black cat, it's associated with death or some shit, a black crow, right? Or black magic, black male. It's associated with anything negative. So, you know, the Elder Malcolm goes into this all the time on countless videos. He's been doing that for years, right? On what these modern day false narrative nationalities go back to. They go back to Esau, labeling themselves as that to push a narrative, right? To make it seem like they're the righteous, and they're not. But the time that it's coming out that who you are. You're the Edomites, man. Right? You're the Edomites. Right? And you can't run from that. Let me get this in Psalms. I believe it's Psalm 64. verse 8, it says, So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. You know, a lot of their women, they speaking out against them. They are not what they meant at all. they already love Jake, so it's just y'all getting more and more divided as a race every day. And that's how you know it's the end of your kingdom. The scriptures say, a kingdom divided cannot stand. Roughly paraphrasing. You know? And, you know, Esau, they'll slime each other out, man. You know? They'll take each other out. I've seen it at the workplace. They be getting mad at each other and having little conversations of who gonna be the best and who gonna be in this position. How much more you niggas, man? Right? They'll work together to go against Jake, but also they'll take each other out to see who can get to this position as well. That's just how they operate, man. You can't fix that. You know? Let me play the video again.
People, we actually need to start seeing color. Say, I see color, all of it, every shade, and appreciate it for what it really is.
Well, they don't see it because they really don't. They don't see you as anything, right? That's why they, matter of fact, like how she said they have this setting of whiteness as everything pretty much. Let me go to Job 9:24. She didn't say in those exact words, but it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, or the people that look like her are the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not word who is it, because they don't see color. They don't accept anybody that look down and don't look like them or that looks the opposite. Right? They think what they're doing and what they look like is right. You know, but we know having this truth and, you know, the Lord putting the understanding on us, we're dismantling strongholds. Right? And there's nothing they can do about it. You know? They can say whatever little slick shit they want to say. It don't affect me. You know, and it shouldn't affect brothers, but, you know, hey, let them say what they want to say.
Skin is just skin, but it's connected to culture, character, creativity, family, humanity. When we pretend we don't see color, we pretend we don't see people that have one different.
And I've experienced something like this a couple weeks ago. Somebody, I don't work directly with them, but I see them every now and again. You know, we talk at work about the work or whatever, what's going on, because we gotta communicate. But I think he's an Edomite. But he mentioned to me about somebody at an old job he had. They had said he was racist or something. And he told me that he ain't racist. And I don't even know what made him even say this to me, or because we wasn't talking about nothing like that. We was saying something about work and trying to figure out what was going on. And then he had mentioned that to me, and I'm like confused, like why, you know? But I knew why. In the back of my head, I'm like, he's just trying to make it seem like that he with me. I don't care about if you think you with me or you try to make me seem like, you know, that I care that you with me. I don't give a damn. So I don't even know why he told me that. But I mean, I know why, because he's an Edomite, you know. But he said he didn't have, you know, a Eve woman, the black woman, and all that. And I'm like, okay. And I ended up telling him, I was like, yeah, you're not racist. You know, you got to play that game a little bit. Yeah, you're not racist, you know. But this happened to me literally like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, you know. He just said it out of nowhere. I don't even know why he said it at the time. I was a little confused, but afterwards I was like, yeah, I know why he said it.
From our own. White is not the norm. Even white is a conglomeration of different colors. I'm even polka dotted.
Yeah, like what? What is that? Maybe I had a word for that, microaggression. I don't know why I keep disappearing, but basically it means verbal or non-verbal slight insult, right? That's harmful or not, or sounds non-harmful, if that makes sense. So it's just certain things that may not sound harmful at first, but it's to hide the truth. And that's how they operate, man. There's nothing you can do about that. You know, you said what you said, and you meant it.
White is just a color. No more official than black or brown. Normal is what you grew up inside. Most white people grew up to treat whiteness as the standard for how things should be. But you can unlearn that, and you should. You can learn to normalize uniqueness.
No, that's not true, right? Let me prove that. Let me go to Romans, right? What you have learned, well, I ain't gonna say what you've learned, which you've inherited, was just how the Lord created you. Let's go to Romans 9. It's all a spiritual thing. This is Romans 9 and verse 21. It says, "Hath not the potter power over the clay, which the potter is YASHAMIAHLA, and the clay is the people of the same." Let's talk about Esau and Jacob. Of the same lump, to make one vessel unto honor, and to another unto dishonor, which the honor vessel is Jacob, and the one that's dishonorable, right, the one that does everything wicked, right, is Esau. The Lord made you like that. That clay, he formed you like that. It's not something you just learned. You just was born like that. I read it in the first scripture I read in Psalms 58. So you can't unlearn shit. You know, you was made like that.
Difference and the beauty of faces that do not look like yours. And that's the work. And it changes the world one conversation.
And what it is, these Edomites jealous of us. They jealous of us because of the birthright, us being the chosen, you know, them not having benefits that we have. They know this deep down inside. But I remember working with this girl, you know, a couple years ago. She had said that our skin is beautiful. She was talking to me when this other Jake. And I was like, okay, thank you, you know. I was like, okay. I didn't even expect her to say it. I don't even know why she said it. And another thing, they be trying to be all up in your business or just say random shit to you to make you feel like they accept you or they maybe she was trying to flirt or something. I don't care, you know. But that's how they do, man. But don't trust them, Jake. Don't trust them. I done played most of the video, you know. Lord willing, this video is edifying. You know, the point is, they don't trust it, man. You know, watch these devils, man. The scriptures say they more subtle than any beast of the field. Out of all these other nations, they the top serpent. They was that snake in the garden. So I'm going to close out. This video was edifying to the Lord's elect. Hey, keep the faith, Jake. Talking to myself first and foremost. Pray for more wisdom. Hey, I'm going to close out. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Shemiyah by Shemar Double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone. Till next time, I want to say Bible Shalom.